Did you take any time off this offseason, or were you right back at it?
No, I was right back at it. I kind of chill for a little bit, but I don't really take too much time off. I don't even sleep, bro. I just think about football, And
you don't sleep?
Nah, not for real.
Really? What do you mean? Like wake up at 3 a.m. and
don't go to sleep at all. Yeah. That's just kind of my mindset. I'm on the go. I'm always ready to go.
So that's George Pickens. By default, Steelers' #1 wide receiver. Says he's not sleeping. And then you get the fake Mackey laugh. Does anyone do a fake laugh in media more than Mackey? Not to call our guy out.
Greg Brown, maybe.
Killed him. You're right.
He does do a fake laugh. Ha, 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 ha. Greg Brown, like, ha, 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 ha.
I love Greg Brown.
He literally has the ha-has, like H-A-H-A-H-A.
Man, you're right. Like, if Greg Brown ever texted you LOL, you'd be like, you're full of it, man. Because you are a ha-ha guy in real life. Mackey sucks. I don't want to pause there. Mackey, and it's totally fake. He's done it with us before. We love you, Jason. So he's down there at OTAs. I don't know.
Shots fired.
I don't know if I believe George Pickens
He looks way
either.
too well rested.
Right. Like,
I mean,
like, he might be. I have no doubt. I have no doubt he's busting his ass and putting in the work. I'm not going to be that guy. I don't believe him. But like, he's staying up. He's staying up all hours. And what? He going to Planet Fitness at 2 a.m.
Right. Playing video games. I don't know. I mean, that's how JB was kind of, though.
played Madden.
Yeah.
JB?
Jonathan Baldwin.
Oh,
like,
okay.
He would never sleep. Like, he was just up all the time just thinking.
But I think that the implication there from Pickens wasn't that he was Fortniting with what's Callis's name? Giblet or something?
Gipler. J-I-P-P-L-E-R.
Okay.
Gipler.
Yeah, he's playing with Gipler on Fortnite. I don't know that that's what Pickens was implying. I think he's implying, like, I'm going to eat my Greek yogurt and I'm going to go out there and throw some steel around. I don't know. Your explanation makes more sense. Like, you can get your workout in during the day. It doesn't need to be midnight.
Kind of needs sleep, you know?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's important.
It's kind of important. I mean, he is a...
Look at me, Pat.
He's a physical...
Look at me.
Well, your hair looks great.
It does. Thank you.
I got to give you credit. You got great hair.
But I'm 33, and I look like death warmed over.
Well, you got 2 kids. You got an infant.
That's right.
You're not sleeping.
Correct.
Listen, it's part of the deal.
Sleep's important.
This guy's 24 years old? George Pickens? 25 years old?
Yep.
The prime of his life. Freak athlete. And it's important from a biometric standpoint to sleep.
It would be nice if he could get some separation. I mean, that'd be nice. Like, can you work on that?
Yeah.
Tell me.
Oh, absolutely.
Route detail.
Yeah.
He's got all the physical tools to separate it. It comes down to detail and being at the right depth and learning the techniques of pressing someone. And, there's all sorts of, route idiosyncrasies that can... But he's got to build his tree. He can't just be a one-trick pony. And that's
you plant a tree. Yeah.
He's run a slant. He's run a post. He's run a go. Maybe he'll run a comeback or a run back, something like that. But he's got to build his tree and be more. They got to be able to move him around, and that to me is all mental. If he's going to separate, if they're going to get him matched up, it can't be at split end the whole time playing X one-on-one. He has got to get in the slot. He's got to work on safeties. That's what he's going to separate.
The thing that is positive about George Pickens and us talking about this situation, like what can he do to become a better wide receiver? I am almost like 98% sure that Russell Wilson can help him be a better wide receiver. Just like the depth stuff. Like you get into the room with Russell Wilson, he's going to be like, hey, get to this depth. I know it says this on this sheet, but I want you at this because the way it comes out of my hand is way different than it was with Kenny Pickett, way different than it is going to be with Justin Fields. I need you at a half more yard, like leaving little details like that, and that could help George Pickens run routes better, understand route. I think it's more understanding. Mm-hmm. It's not that like physically he can't separate. It's the poetry of running routes. That's kind of what I call it. Like it's the corner's inside shade. Like let me kind of just dip a little bit so I can square them up. Like just the little things like that can help you separate. Like Wes Welker and some of these receivers, even Larry Fitzgerald. Larry Fitzgerald didn't run a 4.3.
No,
he wasn't a freak. Like he was a really good wide receiver because he understood how to play wide receiver. He didn't drop anything. That has a lot to do with it. But it wasn't like he's a burner. Like you don't have to be that if you understand what you're doing. And then you have a quarterback that has played with multiple different types of wide receivers. He can definitely help them.
I always felt like, for me as a quarterback, you had to know the other 10 guys, what they're doing, in addition to what you're doing. I feel like players at other positions that can get that that understand not only what the play is and what my job is, but why my job is what it is, will help them understand and capitalize on the situations when they become primary. And I don't know, George Pickens may think he's not primary, and then he is. And all of a sudden, you're not full go. You understand that if there's rotation to one side, I've got 3 deep. I'm going to have, butt to the sideline, outside leverage, corner, where I've got an opportunity to win on a skinny post or a bang 8 route. Understanding those things and how you fit it into the play design and why your route is what it is and when you become a viable option. It doesn't excuse when you're not the viable option going 100 miles an hour. You still got to go 100%. But it does give you an opportunity when you're the guy to then dig into those little details that can take you from good to being elite.
And how many guys last year when Canada was let go talked about they were understanding the why because it was being explained to them by Sullivan and Faulkner. And almost to a man, the offensive players who have talked in OTAs talked about understanding the why. And I don't think it's a coincidence either that the wide receivers coach is gone.
Listen, in the NFL, everyone's running the same plays for the most part. San Francisco does it up with motions and all sorts of things, but they're running the same plays. It comes down to the collection of talent you have, ultimately who's the quarterback, and then the level of understanding and detail and happening simultaneously of the guys in the room.
Execution.
And that's the execution of it. And I think, so if you get a coach like an Arthur Smith that can detail that, and then his assistants can get buy-in from players, you've got veteran leadership on this offense again. You have not had that at the quarterback position. I think it bodes well for a guy like George Pickens to evolve. And I like hearing the fact that he's always thinking about his football. I hope he's thinking about, on X-slant spacing, this is my job. On this particular play, this is my job. I got to adjust this for that. Those are the types of things that it's like graduate work for him, and he's ready for that.
And then getting to the next level, it's like he says, like the spacing route, the X slant spacing. It's like, okay, I know I'm running a slant, but why is the tight end running a sit over the ball? And then you start thinking, it's like, okay, I know what I'm doing, but why is the tight end? Why is Pat Freiermuth running a 6-yard sit over the ball? Like, what sense does that make? Oh, he's drawing the linebacker, so the slant might be open. Like, and then you start putting it all together, and it's starting to make sense.
Yep.